Today I fucked up by eating 2 bags of Brussels sprouts. So Red Lobster has these delicious Brussels sprouts that I really enjoy. I wanted more Brussels sprouts but felt too embarrassed to order it again the next day nor take the 20-minute drive. So I decided to find a copycat recipe online and make it myself. Because I knew how much I loved those Brussels sprouts, I decided to purchase 2 bags of it so that I would be more than satisfied. I debated whether or not I wanted to just use 1 bag and save the other for later, but I decided to make both bags. I should note that I live alone and made it only for myself. It was around 10 p.m. when I finished cooking and ate about half of the serving. I decided to save the rest for later and went about my night. I started having a lot of gas, but I knew it was just from the fiber amount in the sprouts and ignored it. I went to bed and woke up at 3 a.m. starving. I was craving the Brussels sprouts I made, so I finished the rest of them before going back to bed. It is now the next morning and I am seriously regretting my decisions. I just thought I'd have some gas and one big number 2, however, I was severely wrong. I have been back to the bathroom at least 10 times now because once I think I'm done pooping, there's more to come. I am even writing this from the toilet. It feels like my chocolate starfish is on fire with the amount of times I've had to go. I've already gone through a roll of toilet paper. Needless to say, as delicious as Brussels sprouts are, they must be eaten in moderation. And no, I did not learn my lesson, as I just ordered more Brussels sprouts from Longhorn Steakhouse. But I'll wait until tonight to eat those delicious devils. Edit. The toilet terror only lasted about 30 minutes, I am completely fine now. I had half of a bottle of 10 ounces apple juice around the same time I ate my second serving. I also take Zoloft, which increases GI motility. I probably should have added that I did have a little caffeine this morning as well, that likely aided to my digestive issues. I promise I eat vegetables regularly and consume my daily amount of fiber. I just couldn't resist the temptation of those delectable sprouts. I'm hydrated and avoiding anything that will ramp up my digestive system. That is until tonight at 10 p.m., where I will once again consume my final, and much smaller, serving of Brussels sprouts. Second edit. I am eating the chicken tortilla soup from Chick-fil-A that I purchased yesterday for dinner tonight, highly recommended. I completely forgot that it has a ton of fibrous content in it. Perhaps I'll save the sprouts for tomorrow after all. Too long did not read. Do not eat 2 bags of Brussels sprouts in a span of a few hours or your intestines will hate you. You ordered more sprouts from your throne of shame? While actively feeling the burn of your mistakes? I don't know if you're crazy, brave, or admirable, but I wish you and your chocolate starfish the best. LMAO. Reminds me of the first time my grandpa made us eat them. I was adamantly against them, but they eventually got me to try one. I loved it, ate a whole helping of them. Cue a few hours later when I could not leave the bathroom for the entire rest of the evening. Worst part was, they had one of those tiny bathrooms just off the kitchen, horrible design. So I was doing all my business just a few feet from where everyone was eating. We all learned what regret was that day. Lol, a rapid change to your fiber intake will do that. Keep eating fiber and in a couple of days it will be normal. Every time I hear someone say Taco Bell gives them the shits, I just think how it's probably the most fiber they got all week. Honestly, you got off lightly. Let me tell you the story of baby bok choy. Years ago I wanted roasted broccoli or Brussels sprouts or something, but I lived in Flushing. The local store did have a giant bag of baby bok choy for an insanely low price. I put this massive bag full on a baking sheet, seasoned it etc., and roasted it. It tasted amazing. My husband and I gladly ate all of it in a sitting. Then we wanted to die or thought we would or wished to. It was excruciating. The gas pains were something I never experienced before and strive to never again. Never eat that much cruciferous veg, ever. Husband still refuses to eat bok choy ever, although I find it is okay in small doses. You ordered more? Whilst still dealing with the fallout from the first batch? You deserve whatever discomfort comes your way. Link to the recipe? Today I fucked up by letting a man who was clearly nervous groom my cats. This is actually from 2 years ago. But I was getting my cats groomed on the regular by a mobile van grooming company. Usually it was 2 guys in the van, both seemingly very professional. They always just trimmed my medium-haired cats by about a ½ inch, and gave them sanitation trims. The van pops up, and it's just one guy, who seems somewhat nervous. There is also a bit of a language barrier. I try to tell him to give them the usual, to which he responds, short. This should have been hint number 1. I say, no, the usual please, and he again asks, like short? I finally try to reiterate one more time to please just do what they always do. When all was said and done, I go back to the van to get my cats. They're in their carriers, and the guy seems equally sad as he is nervous by this point. I can't see my cats, I just pay the man and leave. I bring them into my apartment, let them out of their carriers, and immediately burst into tears and laughter at the same time. It's so bad that they don't even recognize each other. They are sisters, by the way. My newfound gremlins are just sniffing each other and grooming each other out of embarrassment and worry. I immediately emailed the company to say, hey, so not to be a complainer, but this seems not great? They don't respond. I follow up with an email of pictures, and they promptly refund me. Pics and comments. ETA. Because there seems to be a lot of comments about this and I didn't make it clear originally. This groomer had seen me multiple times before this incident. It was just that the other guy who was normally with him wasn't there this time. Still, I should have been more clear in what I wanted. Alas, here we are. 2 gremlins. Too long did not read. I used a mobile groomer who was clearly nervous and by himself when he normally had support, when I should have just cancelled the appointment. Pics and comments. The usual isn't a type of cut. If you have someone different to the person who usually does it, you have to tell them what you want. They aren't psychic, they don't know what sometimes else usually does if they don't see it. Plus, depending on number of customers, they might just not remember every single customer's preference. There is either nothing here or just this link. The fuck up here is saying, the usual, to a poor guy who had no idea what the hell that meant. You were not clear at all with your expectations and then left him to figure it out. Should he have done a better job? Yes, absolutely, but you also set him up for failure from the very beginning. He was never, ever, going to give your cats the right cut because of the vague instructions you gave. To add to all this, he was probably nervous because he didn't know what cut to give, just making the entire situation that much worse. The bad cuts are his fault, 100%. Letting this situation happen at all though? That's on you. Instead of saying, do the usual, over and over to someone who probably has no idea who you are or what the usual is, you should have just told them what you wanted. Why would you just keep repeating, the usual, at a guy who is clearly asking what exactly you wanted him to do? Poor kitties. I'm sorry, but that is absolutely hilarious. It's killing me. Today I fucked up by using my fiancé's toothbrush without telling him. Alright, hear me out. This might sound nasty to some people, but I swear it made sense in the moment. So, last night, I went to brush my teeth and realized I forgot to replace my toothbrush after tossing the old one earlier. My fiancé had just left for his night shift, and I thought, it's just one time, what's the big deal? Big mistake. This morning, while we're getting ready, he's like, hey, did you mess with my toothbrush or something? I totally froze and played dumb, like, why? He goes, it looks weird, like the bristles are all bent. At that point, I just cracked and admitted I used it. Y'all, the look he gave me. Like I just committed a federal crime or something. He's like, we kiss, but this is too far. I tried to explain it's not a big deal, like, we literally swapped germs anyway, but nope. He grabbed the toothbrush, threw it in the trash with so much drama, and said, we're getting separate toothpaste too. I can't trust you. Face with rolling eyes. Now he's being all extra, holding his new toothbrush every time I walk into the bathroom and saying stuff like, don't even look at it, you germ thief. I can't tell if I should laugh or be offended. Ha ha ha. Too long did not read. Used my fiancé's toothbrush cause I was lazy, he noticed, and now he's acting like I'm patient zero of some disease. If you can mess up a toothbrush by just using it once, you're brushing way too hard. You should ask your dentist about this on the next visit. You might want to talk to your dentist about how hard you're brushing up. You shouldn't be able to destroy a toothbrush just using it once. Nah, IDC husband was maybe a lil dramatic, but sharing a toothbrush is gross AF. I'd be kinda annoyed too. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was once or in the scenario you have, but like how hard do you brush to bend the bristles after one brush? After the whole toothbrush drama, I decided to buy him a fancy new one as a peace offering. It was one of those electric ones with all the extra features. When I gave it to him, he smirked like he knew exactly what I was up to. Later, he admitted that maybe he overreacted a little and said he didn't actually care that much. He just liked teasing me about it. Now we're back to sharing toothpaste, but he still keeps his toothbrush in a separate drawer just in case. Honestly, I'm not sure if I came out ahead here or if he's still getting the last laugh. Tears of joy. I overheard the couple in the flat next door arguing over a toothbrush. The red one is mine. No, the red one is mine. They were both disgusted and horrified to realize they'd been sharing a toothbrush for weeks.